excited to be here with you this week. Today, we're going to talk about bees. There are lots of different types of bees, lots of different things that you can do for the bees, and there's lots of fun facts to learn about bees. So let's learn about bees, and then we'll talk about what you can do to help them. All right, before we get started today, I'm going to answer a couple of viewers' questions. I got some questions about some plant identification. So I had some people send in some pictures that they thought, oh, this is a cool plant. Ern, what is it? And so I'm going to answer those questions right now. So our first question came from Lucille in Vermont, and she said, Ern, this plant looks like a trillium, but it looks different than the ones you showed us last week. What is it? Thank you so much for your submission, Lucille. I'm so excited that you found this beautiful flower in the forest. This is actually a painted trillium. Now, it is similar to the other trilliums that we saw. It has 3 leaves, 3 petals, and 3 sepals. However, it is a different species than the white trillium and the red trillium that we saw. It's called painted trillium. Painted trillium has white petals and this little pink ring kind of in the middle of the flower. So very beautiful, very special find, painted trillium. This next submission is from Ryan in Maine, and Ryan asked me what this plant was. And I actually found this plant in the forest, so let's go out into the field and we'll talk about it there. This is fringed polygala. It's this bright purple. It's really, really pretty, low to the ground. It's like a little flower, so it's a little hard to spot and have this little weird fringy structure at the end. Thanks so much for sending in your questions about plants. Keep sending in any plant questions you have, and I will feature you in this video. Now, I heard some students wanted to know about bees. So let's get to it. Let's learn about bees. There are a lot of different kinds of bees, and today we'll mention 2 types of really important bees. The first is honeybees, and they're in the genus Apis. This next type of bee is a bumblebee. They are in the genus Bombus. Bees don't actually mean to pollinate plants. They just happen to pollinate plants when they're going to forage for pollen and nectar. If you look closely at this bee, it has pollen all over its back and its legs, and this happens to pollinate the plant while it's foraging for food. Bees are very cool, and they have some really interesting body parts. And they even have some body parts that humans have. So let's talk about bee anatomy. So bees have 3 kind of segments of their body. They have the head, they have a thorax, and then the third part is their abdomen, which is the largest part. Bees have eyes just like us. They also have hearts just like us. And they have 2 pairs of wings. They have a stinger apparatus, which holds actually bee venom called apitoxin. There are different types of stingers that bees can have. Some stingers are smooth, and some stingers are barbed. Bees actually try to sting other insects if they think they're going to invade the hive. Bees have a structure called a pollen basket, which is like a little space for bees to collect pollen. And they also have a nectar stomach, which is super cool. So when they go to a flower, they can collect nectar from it and put in their nectar stomach. Bees also have 2 antennae and a special mouth part called a mandible. Let's talk about pollen sacs. Now, here's a bee visiting a flower. If you look at its legs, you can see that it has little yellow sacs, and these are called pollen baskets.
All right, friends, so last but not least, today we talked about bees, and a lot of people wonder, well, how can I save the bees? There are a lot of ways you can save the bees. Number 1, you can educate yourself. So just by watching this video, learning about plants and bees and plants that are pollinated by bees and what bees need, you are doing a big part for the earth. So thank you. Number 2, you can help protect bee habitat and their food source. So bees like to live in like the forest and some ground areas, if they're ground nesters, in trees. So if we protect the environment, we can actually help protect bees' homes. And if we protect the environment, these flowers and the plants that bees go to collect nectar and pollen, we can also help protect the bees' food source. And finally, if you have access to a garden, it would be awesome if you would plant some pollinator-friendly plants. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm so excited that we got to talk about bees. I hope you have a great week. And for a challenge this week, I challenge you to go outside and see if you can find any flowers that you think are pollinated by bees. And maybe you can draw the flowers or draw a certain type of bee that we saw today on the show. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time.